1 minute until showtime. Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now, from the world's most famous beach, from where beach racing began, it's the Legends of Racing radio show. Live from racing's original North Turn Beach Bar and Grill in Ponce Inlet, Florida. The Legends of Racing radio show. And your host, Buzz McKim. And co-host, Rich Combs.
There, that's better. That's much better.
I can hear you now.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
That's super. Well, we're excited about this. This has been kind of a homecoming for us. This guy here is related through marriage with Danny over here on the board. That's his aunt, or as they say in the dark community, aunts.
Haunt. Yeah.
We know it's aunts.
Oh yeah.
That's right, exactly. And this guy is, if you like Porsches, this is the man right here. He has got a heck of a story. And I think you'll really be impressed with what he's done. And his name is Ingolf Korytko, but we call him Seppi. Seppi, how you doing, buddy?
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, were you born in Germany?
Wait, Seppi?
Huh?
Where? Germany?
Germany.
Yeah, Nuremberg.
Oh, Nuremberg. Okay.
A little bit north of Nuremberg.
Okay. And then they moved to Daytona when he was a kid.
Right.
And then he graduated from Seabreeze High School.
Correct.
And the family moved back to Germany. And so he spent most of his growing up years here. And then in 1995, he got to come back, and he was the victorious hero. He worked on the Kramer team that won the 24 Hours of Daytona.
That's correct.
And that's a heck of a deal.
You bet. You bet.
He came back to the hometown and showed him how to do it.
That's right. 25 years later.
25 years later.
First time I went to Daytona 24 Hours was 1970.
Oh, my. 917.
The 917s with Joe Sifford,
Yep.
Pedro Rodriguez,
Oh, boy.
Brian Redmond,
Yep.
Mario Andretti was there,
Yep.
Ferraris were there.
Mhm.
It was my first race, and since then I can't get away from it.
Yeah, you were hooked, weren't you?
I was hooked.
I'll be darned. Now, are you much of a Porsche man there, Rich?
Oh, you better believe it. You know, this is my style of racing. You know, I like everything we do locally. I like NASCAR, but in reality, my heart's in road racing, and it's in road racing around the world. And I brought along a picture here today, so for you folks who don't know what he's been involved in, this will show you the type of cars that we're running. And this is a depiction. I thought it was 1983. He immediately told me this morning it's 1982. He found a little place in the paint on the car and says, no, that's an 82. But this particular picture, Porsche finished 1, 2, 3 at Le Mans.
That's correct.
Just like that's showing.
Yep.
And the third team, I think that was Al Holbert and a couple of American guys.
Peter Gregg, Albert, Greg, and Ben
Greg.
Schuppen.
Could have been, yeah.
Really?
So, but what we didn't tell you is, and what doesn't get played around very often, is out of the first 10 cars that finished Le Mans, 9 of them were Porsches. And so Porsche came back with an ad, and it said they wanted to. But Porsche actually has a little humor and fun in their ads. You have to understand it, right?
Yeah, a little bit, yes.
Yeah. And so they published an ad and says they showed the picture of the 9 cars coming, and they said, "Not everybody's perfect. They miss one."
Yeah.
So, you know, it's that type of thing. And That's not your car. That's a 956.
That's 56 from the factory back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is the era. This is what was running. 917s, 934s.
34, 35s, and the 936s, and then they went to the 56 and the 62.
There you go. So when you look at the history of Le Mans, you start looking, who won a couple? Carroll Shelby's group won 2 races there, 3 races maybe.
In the 60s, yeah.
And Chevrolet's won, through Cadillac's run 1 or 2, I think.
Cadillac, correct.
And then you see Porsche. Wham, 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 wham. You know, it's just line after. It looks like an old typewriter going back and forth printing it out. So, yeah, this is what we love, and I'm just glad to be here with you. I feel honored. This is a great deal to be here today.
Well, thank you, thank you. I'm honored to be here.
Now, what was the model car that you guys used to win in '95?
The car that I designed was the Spider.
Oh, really?
The K7 Spider from
Is it?
Kramer.
Oh my!
I
No
worked
kidding.
for Kramer 18 years.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I'll be darned. And you did design work also, right?
We got to know Irving and Manfred Kramer well enough to that they'd come down to visit. Irving would come down to visit us and just, chat. And it got to the point where he trusted us so much. The year of 94, 93, 94, he said, "Here's a chassis, monocoque. Here's the rule book. Build me a car."
Oh my!
And so I'd sculpt a 1 to 5 model. We go into Porsche Museum to, and that'd be a Porsche wind tunnel. Test it, see if it was good, and build the 1 to 1 car.
No kidding.
And the first car was the Golf car in '94, which we took care of. Derek Bell was driving it,
Oh boy!
and we were having electrical problems. We actually led the first lap, and we were having, in the night, electrical problems. And it set us back. We did make 6th place overall.
Really?
Yeah.
Great. Now, Roy worked with you on that. Your brother?
My brother, Roy, yes.
You have just the 2 of you working on that car?
We had help back then, but because of the economy, we've been cutting back, but it's just my brother and myself.
Wow. How long would you take to come up with a car like that?
Well, I'd work on the sketches and the model about 6 to 8 weeks. Then we'd have to sculpt the complete body. About 6 months complete.
Is that right?
Yeah, so we'd have to get October, November to go ahead, have the car done for tests in the spring. Yeah.
Yeah. Who was your driver?
Oh, we had many. Bernd Schneider, Manuel Reuter, Stuck was the one driver.
Really?
Like I said, Derek Bell, Jürgen Lessig. We had a bunch. I've worked with a lot of people.
Good guys?
Oh, most of them are, yes.
No jerks? You're not going to incriminate yourself, right?
Yeah. My brother told me before I got on the show, he said, "You get up there, be nice, be polite, don't say things you're not supposed to."
But we want to know the inside stuff, though.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we can do that.
Okay, well, that's good. But then you have to go back to Germany, though, don't you?
Well, it depends on if he'll be at the airport or not.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, he said to me earlier,
Yeah.
I said, we just need to pull some of the really good stuff out of you. And he says, "I hope it doesn't hurt."
Yeah. Well, if anybody wants to check out what we're doing here, you can look on us. We thank you all for checking in and seeing what we're up to. And you can go to YouTube Live, see us live here, or you can go to Facebook. As soon as the show is over, we go ahead and post it on Facebook. So you have 2 different ways of taking a look at the show. And anybody out there looking now, and Roy, if you're there, we want to say hi to you and hope things are okay back at the fatherland.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah, that'd be good. So who was your driver? Did I ask you this? Your driver at Daytona?
That was Jürgen Lessig, Marco Vanna, Giovanni Lavaggi, and who was the last one? There was 4 drivers. And I remember Giovanni Lavaggi, excellent driver, drove Formula One, and I knew Daytona. I mean, I grew up here.
Yeah.
First time for him, the banks.
Oh.
So he got in the car, and I asked him, you worried about the banks? Nah, piece of cake. He does a few laps, comes in, totally sweated, gets out of the car, said, and now?
Yeah. Different ball game.
Ooh.
Oh, my. Geez, well, how many times did you come to Daytona with Kramer?
Actually, once.
Really?
Only once.
I'll be
And
darned.
one.
Yeah.
And one.
And one, well,
Boy, that's sweet.
yeah.
Very nice. That's really neat. Now, how about Le Mans? How many times did you go to Le Mans?
16 times.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Did you ever win?
Unfortunately not. I mean, the factory was always the better ones.
Right.
We got close with 5th, 6th place.
Mm-hmm.
That's about the best we could do.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That must be quite the adventure.
Oh, it is. It
Yeah.
is. Because the first Le Mans I went to was in 1989.
Mm-hmm.
And that was still the old pit road with that they actually, like they used back in the movie Steve McQueen Le Mans.
Oh, really?
In the background, you know, with the shutter and everything, the gravel.
Yeah.
You know, Roy and I are walking down this path, and we go, oh my God, holy ground, you know. Steve McQueen and all the big players, you know, they walked there.
Yeah.
So it was exciting. But the next year, they actually ripped everything down, and had a brand new pit road and everything. But
Yeah.
I was able to be there at least that time.
Boy, that must have been something, huh? That fulfilled a lifelong dream, I guess,
Yes,
wasn't
it did.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
God, when you were a kid growing up, could you ever have imagined being there all those times?
Well, let's put it this way. When we moved down here in 69 and 70, the first year that I was at a race, like I said, Le Mans, yes. But I'm living in Daytona. How am I going to get to Le Mans, you know?
Yeah, right.
And then work for Kramer yet, you
Yeah.
know? It was a dream come true, yes.
Boy, that's amazing.
Well, tell me about the Kramer K car. You know, you had K 1, 2, 3, 4 like that.
Right.
So
those were the beginnings of Kramer. The K1 was just basically a 911 with a big motor in it and a little bit of flares. And they moved it up to the K2. The K3, of course, was the monster. Irvin told me a story one time. He says, you know, we designed this car, we won Le Mans with it, and we only sold one car to America.
Oh,
And they japped everything off the car,
you're kidding.
and that was it.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
So you know all the 935s that are running here now?
yeah.
You know, that came from you guys.
Yeah. No, not from us. That we started after that.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So
I'll be darned.
was Kramer somewhat of a, I know it wasn't Mama Factory, but yet you had more advantages than probably a lot of other people.
Correct.
Were you considered, how were you considered in the racing part?
Well, Porsche was Irvin and Manfred were very good friends of Mr. Porsche. And because they had such good results, you know, he was seen by them as being good. The only competition we had was Joest Racing. And Joest was basically, as far as I remember correctly, Reinhold Joest's wife was a Porsche family. So, of course, he got better parts and, of course, better technology than we ever did. But we were the second best team out there. And I was grateful to be a part of it. My brother and I became very good friends of the family, Kramer. And as far as I'm concerned, they were the best two that we ever worked for. We
Good.
were a big family.
Yeah. Well, then nothing's changed in racing, right? Same old story still going on.
Oh, really?
Being part of the family?
Which family? No, racing has changed.
Yeah.
The last Le Mans I did was 2004 or 5. Even back then, you could notice a change. To Kramer's time in the 90s, in the beginning of 2000, you know, if we needed a part, he would say, well, we'll go down to this and that team. We went there, we got the part, no problem. Today, you can't even get close to the teams anymore. It's all shut up. You know, so times have changed, and as far as I know, it's getting worse and worse. It's becoming Formula One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I interject something here?
Please do.
Formula One, you said.
Yes, sir.
You know, we had a guest on here that's starting out running Formula 4, and they're housed in Spruce Creek, and we had the father and the son, and Pablo being the son. Pablo's running this weekend at Mid-Ohio, and he ran yesterday, and he's the top qualifier.
Hey,
Yeah,
good.
so
All right.
out of Spruce Creek, a team that's working on peanuts and trying to make it happen, and
Yep.
he's won a couple of races this year, and he's moving up, and he was fastest by 0.2 of a second, which is pretty fast.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
That's
so,
quite a bit.
yeah, and
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
so-
quite a bit.
big news that breakout.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
Good to hear.
An alumni of ours.
yeah.
That's very cool. Yeah, he's a good kid, and he'll go all the way, I'm sure.
He's the right type of person to make it in racing.
How old
He's
is he?
16.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the time he's 20, my gosh, no telling
Yeah.
where he's going to be.
Yeah.
These guys, even in NASCAR, they get so good so early.
Yeah.
And then you've got kids 15 years old that are running. And like with ARCA, there's this one kid who's just burning them up, this Willichek, I think his name is. And he's not able to run the big tracks because he's only 17. But he's winning all the races.
Yeah.
And he's already established himself as a full-fledged star.
Great.
And he's not even able to run all the races yet. It's amazing. That's really crazy. So did you ever want to drive?
Of course I did. I was imagining when I was younger going down to the back straight of Le Mans and listening to Stairways to Heaven,
Yeah.
which never happened.
Well, I remember back when we used to hang around together 50 years ago, you had a beautiful metal flake green Corvette.
Correct.
I remember us going out on one of the roads out there that's a major highway now, doing about 100 miles an hour in that thing.
Yeah.
That was pretty hairy.
Yeah. Oh, it was one of my babies. Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever became of that car anyway?
I have no idea. I sold it when we were back to Germany one day, and one day I'm going to try and find a computer because they have actually a web page where you can chase the serial numbers.
Oh, really?
And find out.
I'll be darned.
I'm going to try that one day.
What year was that? About 65?
66.
66, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that thing was gorgeous. Really sweet, really sweet. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Seppi.
The caution flag is out. Time for a break. We'll be right back with the Legends of Racing radio show. At Beach Boys Embroidery and Tees, it's all about making you happy. Beach Boys Embroidery can customize your athletic golf apparel, caps, hats, badges, buttons, magnets, backpacks, bags, totes, clocks, watches, oh, and of course, T-shirts. Sure, they're at 2033 South Ridgewood Avenue in South Daytona, and they're waiting for you to call now. 386-255-5880. Beach Boys Embroidery and Tees. Let Aloha Marine get you on the water with huge discounts on great brands like Bayliner, Carolina Skiff, Hurricane, Key West, and Regal. Pay as little as $169 a month with 10% down and approved credit. Don't wait. Get to Aloha Marine, 1700 North Nova Road, Holly Hill, Monday through Saturday. 47 years and always better than boat show prices. We're back from where it all began. Racing's original North Turn Beach Bar and Grill. The Legends of Racing radio show continues with your host, Buzz McKim, and co-host, Rich Combs.
Thank you, everyone. We do appreciate that very, very much. And this segment's being brought to you locally by Staples on International Speedway Boulevard. Anything for the office. Anything. I mean, you name it. You know, they do blueprints. They cut. They shred. They pack. It's just amazing. They're amazing people. You would be impressed.
Okay.
It takes a lot to impress you, too, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I thought so. Okay. And if you want to check us out on line, we are on YouTube Live. And also, you can check us out on Facebook right after the show. We'll post the show right after that. So when you came here in '95, what was your position with the team exactly?
Well, my brother and I had to take care of the bodywork.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
We had a little problem with the scrutineering. We didn't apparently read the rules correctly.
Oh, I see.
So we went between the lines, okay?
Okay.
But apparently the front nose had to be completely closed of the wheel well until the axle.
Oh, really?
And we had it completely opened.
Oh.
So I had to design a little piece of fiberglass or aluminum, make a shape that it actually fit that, and we screwed it back on there, and everything was okay.
I'll be darned. Just like that.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
And they never did tear up the car.
No.
That's amazing.
They destroyed one front end, and I remember Irving coming to me and says, boys, you got to fix this thing. We need a reserve. It's only an hour in the race, and he's destroyed one front end already.
Oh, jeez.
So we got out the fiberglass, aluminum, everything we had, pop rivets, tape, whatever it is. We got it back together. He said, Irv, is that okay? Perfect. So he had his reserve, which we did not need, thank God.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I think folks would be absolutely amazed at the level of work that goes on in the pits during a 24-hour race. I mean, you almost have to rebuild the car in some cases.
Yeah, when they have a wreck, of course, you want to keep the car in there, repair it as quickly as possible, and get it back out.
Sure. Now, did you get much rest during that race?
No.
So you were kind of a zombie at the end of the race then, huh?
Yeah. Well, I remember we were middle of the night. My brother and I, the car had just been pitted. I said, we got to go to the restroom. So we're coming back out, and we look at the boards upside. Says, why is our number up top there? What's it doing there? So we ran back to our pit.
Right.
And Achim Strout, who was in charge of all the team, I said, what's the deal? Oh, we're leading. I said, what?
Oh, my gosh.
He with radio, he talked to Lavaji, who was at the wheel, stay behind the pace car. He said, what for?
Yeah.
He didn't believe it either. Stay behind the pace car, which finally worked, but we did win the race, and everything went out okay.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Now, can you make any money doing that kind of work?
The mechanics, yes. We did it basically as a thank you for being a part of the team and being able to work. We made our money off the parts and building the cars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was kind of like a help you thing. Yeah.
So do you supply parts for other teams?
Well, working for a team like Kramer, you were pretty well tied.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he didn't like. We had worked at the end with another team called Franz Conrad, and back then they had a Lola T98 or something like that. Kramer had one, Conrad had one. We took the molds off the front from Kramer and the molds off the rear from Conrad. And Conrad said, well, I need a front. Can you make me a front? So I asked Urban, he says, don't you dare. So, you know, that's the way it is in racing.
Yeah.
Yeah. There, he never got the front end.
I'll be darned.
And Conrad was mad, but hey.
Yeah, well, that's life.
I got a similar story, and you'll appreciate this. Colleen, my wife, and I we were in Germany at Nürburgring, and we were supporting Shelby Cobra, a real one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which I thought was stupid to be running that. You know, it's too valuable. And so it's a lot of Mustangs, a lot of American Ford products in that. And when we needed parts, the guy that had the team there, he says to me, he says, I want you to go around and talk to the guys who have Ford parts and American cars. And I said, why are you sending me? I mean, he says, because you're an American. They'll give it to you. They won't give it to me.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something. Yeah, that Nürburgring, that's quite a track, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we went there on vacation with Pete, your uncle, and there were some cars out there testing. That was quite a thrill to see that racetrack.
Did you see the new version or the old version?
The old version. That was 73. We were
Where it
out
went
there.
through the forest in the back?
Right.
Yeah. Well, they've cut that all down. It's a short track now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was dangerous back there, though.
Hey, that's racing.
Yeah. Isn't that where Jim Clark passed away?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. He went off into the woods.
Yeah.
Not good. Boy, racing sure has come a long way, hasn't it?
Yeah. I remember a story that Walter Nayer told me. He was a race engineer for Porsche at that time. Joe Sifford went out to test the 908 or whatever, Longtail, and went out there, and all of a sudden he's not coming back in. So they're getting worried, get in the car, go out there. And all of a sudden, at one turn, on the left side, there's the car totally destroyed.
Oh, my
And
gosh.
they're going, where's Joe? Where's Joe? You know, they run to the car, and he's not there. Here he is at the other side of the track, sitting on the rail, laughing to death. That was just a good time, dude. It was fun. I just destroyed the car.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
You had to have a certain mindset back in those days. You know?
Yeah, but you drivers back then, I'd give credit to.
Oh, man. You're not kidding.
Drive-
They didn't know fear.
Yeah, no, because those cars were death traps.
Oh, yeah.
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 I mean, seeing a 917, which I have a picture of here,
Mm-hmm.
if you look at the frame, it's horrifying.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. I mean, a 962 or a 56 chassis monocoque is totally solid. And Irvin actually developed a carbon chassis yet,
Oh, really?
which was better yet.
I'll be darned.
But back then, no. Can I
Wonderful.
show the picture?
Yeah, please do.
Yeah. I hope that people can see it.
Yeah, you can check it out after the show. It's remarkable. Absolutely remarkable.
We were able to restore 917 from Steve McQueen in the movie Le Mans. The car that wins at the end with the orange roof. Well, the car was delivered to us. We got the job to restore the complete bodywork. This car was hidden for 30 years and nobody knew about. The owner of it, the story is when Steve McQueen made the movie, he became real good friends with Joe Siffert, Seppi, which I got the name. They got good friends, and Siffert bought a 917 from the factory so he could release it to Steve McQueen Solar Productions to make the movie. And after the movie, Joe Siffert died at Brands Hatch and in a Formula One race and burned to death, which was tragic. But the car was used and pushed behind the casket car in Fribourg, Switzerland, to the cemetery. The car then all of a sudden disappeared. Nobody knows where it went. A French gentleman apparently bought the car and several other race cars and hid them because of taxes. When he passed away, nobody knew about all these cars. Until one day they found the storage unit to where all these cars are sitting.
Wow.
And they found the 917. I don't know if you can see it, but there it is as it was delivered to my shop to restore. After we got the bodywork off of it, there you can see the original frame.
Looks like a wreck.
Yeah, it does. And it was rotten all through the bottom, because it was aluminum. And back then, the aluminum was not the quality it is today. So we had a problem doing the car. A Swiss gentleman bought the car. I'm not going to mention his name. And he was apparently related to Siffert's family.
Oh, really?
His mother and Siffert's mother were apparently sisters. So he said, this car, I found it. I got to get it restored. It's going in my museum, my collection, whatever. Okay, we took the body off the car. The other company that was making the technical parts on the car, the engine, transmission, whatever, decided the frame's no good. So they had a university make a new frame.
Is that right?
Took them 4 years.
Jeez.
We got the frame. It was all wrong.
Oh, man.
Because I had the original, and at this time, I'm making a Bible, as I call it.
Yeah.
I took pictures and measurements off of this frame. I could build you a frame just like it was back then.
Really?
So we measured it this way. Oh, that's wrong, that's wrong. Had to cut it, re-weld that, do this, do that, to make the body fit. Well, we got the car done. They put it back together, put the motor, transmission, drivetrain, wheels, brakes, whatever. Got it ready. And all of a sudden, 6 months later, the car's for auction in California. Oh, yes, I have to have this car in my collection. Right.
Yeah, right.
But all of a sudden, I get a phone call from Porsche Museum, Walter Nayer. He was the engineer there. And he says, Seppi, is this car all original? Because he claimed this car was all original except for mice that had nibbled on electrical wires. Okay? But came back. He had to withdraw the car immediately because it was a fraud. Brought it back to Germany, and we had a meeting at my shop. Walter Nayer, the people from Porsche who would weld the frame, the owner of the car, and us. My brother and I are going, boy, is this going to be good. But yes, we got a decision that the frame was, the original frame, which was sitting in our shop, can be restored. If up to 65% of the frame is original, it will be considered original.
Okay.
So in this book that Walter Nayer gave me, it's like there's only 5 copies of it. It actually shows pictures of the rotten parts that they cut out, replaced with new parts, and this and that, got the frame done.
Right.
It also has nice pictures of after the show, if anybody would like to look at it, of during the movie, of the pictures where it's being used and the cameras are mounted on it and everything. Have that in here.
Oh, that's cool.
But anyway, we redid the body, redid the frame, put the body back on it, and like I said, the car was then back for sale and was sold to apparently someone in America.
And what did it bring? But you don't even
More
like to
than
think
we
about
got.
it. Right.
We got pennies or peanuts.
Peanuts.
We call peanuts.
Yeah.
But anyway, the
my
car is
gosh.
sitting in Jacksonville right now.
Is it really?
Yes,
At the museum up there?
at the Bruno's.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we're going up there one of these days.
Well, that's exactly where I'm going to after the show.
Is that right?
They invited me up there. For
Holy cow.
the owner will be there. Camera team will be there. I have no idea. I actually booked my trip here to the U.S. To take a vacation.
Right.
I had a heart attack last year, and I figured before I lose any more friends, I'm going to come over and visit all my friends. I've done Tampa, I've done St. Pete, and now it's Daytona.
Man, that's fantastic. All right, we'll take a break real quick, and then we'll be back with Tony time.
Tony.
The caution flag is out. Time for a break. We'll be right back with the Legends of Racing radio show. Racing's original North Turn is our broadcast headquarters. If you're looking for a good drink, great entertainment, and the best in food, they're right on the beach at Racing's original North Turn. Come on down to dinner tonight. Here are a couple of testimonials. These are actual testimonials from people who have enjoyed the North Turn. Been there many times, always great food and drinks, great location on the beach. And another, what a great experience. It's my new favorite restaurant in the Daytona Beach area, Racing's original North Turn on South Atlantic Avenue. That's A1A in Ponce Inlet, about 3.2 miles south of the Dunlawton Bridge and A1A intersection. It's Racing's original North Turn, a restaurant, museum, bar, gift shop, live music. That's Racing's North Turn. Racing's original North Turn has been voted by you Best Beach Bar Top 10 year after year after year. We're back from where it all began. Racing's original North Turn Beach Bar and Grill. The Legends of Racing radio show continues with your host Buzz McKim and co-host Rich Combs.
Thank you, everybody. We do appreciate that. And talk about a guy who took one for the team. He's going to be up in Jacksonville at the Porsche Brumos Museum between 3 and 4 today. So as soon as you're done here, you're beating feet to the north, aren't you?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Boy, isn't that something?
I would like to have spent some more time here, but
That would have been nice.
yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Well, Tony, what you got for us today, man?
In Europe, we think mostly about road racing and the big tracks. Of course, Le Mans, Silverstone, all those. Over here, we have short tracks like New Smyrna, Volusia. That's where drivers get a start. They're running everything from 4 cylinders. We got a guys racing Crown Vic police up through modifieds and all that. Are there short tracks in Europe?
Unfortunately,
And what do
not.
they race in them?
Unfortunately, they don't have that. You have to go. Hockenheim will have like every month a weekend to where people can come with their cars and race and just have fun. You know, I think the Nürburgring has it also. I don't know about any other tracks, but they have the possibility of getting their car out and to test it and to drive it.
That's pretty cool. You can take your grocery getter and go
Yeah.
up there? Really?
Well, the grocery getter it has to be a modified race car.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No license plate.
Yeah, no license plate.
No license plate.
I see. Okay. All right. So, Rich, would you like to get behind the wheel of that 917?
I would. I mean, it excites me just to look at it. Plus, I know all of you have seen the movie with Steve McQueen. You've seen this car. You've seen his work. You just didn't know exactly what it was. And to have you here is just fantastic to see that. Would I like to sit in it? Absolutely. Would I like to drive it? And I'd probably be scared less.
Don't do the mistake I did. Get a double bock beer and sit in it and just dream about it.
But all of those cars, and the thing that you said they were a death trap, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Those cars, they were running 6-cylinder engines, and they were turboed, or were they?
There's 934s out and on, yes.
Yeah. And they were putting out 600, 700 horsepower in those type of cars, 6-cylinder. We're advertising cars, and we say, "Oh, you can get 450 horsepower. You can get modern technology." They had modern technology. They had all the power they could use. It was unbelievable what happened. The racing is fantastic. It's just so good. Yeah, I want to sit in one. I want to drive one.
Well, come up with me to Jacksonville.
Okay, maybe we can put some blocks under the accelerator pedal.
Well, you were saying about the 917 had a 12-cylinder with only 450 horse.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah.
Really?
The first one, the 917K.
Okay.
Then they moved up to the 917-10, which had about 800 horse. And then the one that Mark Donahue drove, the Batmobile, the 917-30 with the Sunoco paint job, had 1,100 horse
Holy cow.
out of that same 12-cylinder engine.
That's amazing. Now, how do they go about getting that extra horsepower?
Turbos.
Okay.
Double turbos.
Uh-huh.
Big turbos.
I guess so. We like big turbos, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Let's
really
keep it clean.
Yeah, really.
that really put the power in the
Oh, yeah.
cars. I mean, you just can't imagine how far ahead they were at the time because we didn't get that information,
Right.
We were still looking at 327 V8s from Chevrolet and what could they do. And that was okay. I love those too. But what you were doing was just way out there.
Well, McLaren and the Can-Am was a very good competitor. I mean, they actually had up to 490 or 510 cubic inches out of an aluminum block, which is fantastic. But they were not able to keep up with this 1917, and Mark Donahue, first of all, was an excellent driver, and, Roger Penske, Mr. Perfect,
Oh, yeah.
Captain
that's for
Perfect.
sure.
Yeah.
So were you there at the time the movie was being done? Did you meet Steve McQueen?
I met Steve McQueen in 1970 Sebring.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I'll be darned.
but shortly. And I was so nervous, I never asked for an autograph.
No kidding. Yeah. Now, is that when he had the broken foot?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He and Peter Revson drove.
Wow, that's a nice combination there.
Yeah, good combo.
Holy cow. That's amazing. So you were kind of speechless then, weren't you?
Yes.
I was just going to ask you, who were you speechless that you met? And that's the one right there.
That's one.
Yeah.
Mario Andretti, Joe Sifford, but he became to be a very nice gentleman.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's why apparently he was my number one driver.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And Pedro Rodriguez, very cool person.
Really?
But behind the wheel,
Yeah. Oh, he was a
Wow.
monster.
he drove.
Yeah.
He could drive.
Yeah, in the 71 24 Hours of Daytona, Mark Donahue had the Porsche.
The wreck.
Yeah, and he had the wreck with Rodriguez.
Yeah.
And supposedly, Roger Penske told him, keep away from the Mexican. Because Rodriguez was always kind of egging him on, getting him into bad situations, and he just about destroyed that car.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
A
there was
lot of tape.
Yeah,
A lot of tape.
A lot of tape. There was a real rivalry between he and Rodriguez. Yeah, you know, Rodriguez insulted me one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, we were walking.
What'd you do?
Well, I'll tell you what. We were walking through the pits with Marvette Panch, Marvin Panch's daughter.
Panch.
Yeah, Marvette. And we're just wandering through the pits, and here comes Pedro, and she knew Pedro real well, and she goes up and gives him a big hug, and we stood there and chatted for a few minutes, and then we went on our way, and then the next day I talked to her, Marvette, and she's kind of snickering. I said, what's that? She says, well, I told you that, you know, we talked with Pedro yesterday, and he asked me if you were my boyfriend, and I said no, and he said, good, you can do better than that. So Pedro got me.
It sounds like him.
Yeah.
Well, I'll insult you again.
Go ahead.
I've already told this joke into some of my folks here that I know. You said he was in your first wedding.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah.
That was my
And
practice
so I was
wedding.
telling that story, and I said, you know, Buzz had told me this story. And I said, He was the ring bearer.
I was. That's a new one.
You're just a child. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Pretty good. Yeah. So yeah, Andretti. We've had Andretti on the show.
I've heard. Yes.
Yeah. He was such a gentleman, and we dealt with him on a project we did with past Daytona 500 winners when I was with NASCAR. And his people were so easy to work with. They bent over backwards to make it happen. And I've always been a huge fan of his, and even more so when I see how he treats people. It's really, really something special. Yep. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Seppi Korytko.
The caution flag is out. Time for a break. We'll be right back with the Legends of Racing radio show. Daytona Flea and Farmers Market is still the one for great savings and the best variety. Whether you need flowers and trees for your home or you're looking for great prices on Daytona Beach souvenirs, the market is the place to go. The market features 1,000 booths, 2 air-conditioned malls, a restaurant, and 9 snack shacks. Hops Grill features gourmet burgers and garden blend salads. Treat yourself to a great variety of brat and hot dog creations at the Doghouse, or enjoy a refreshing drink at the Seltzer Oasis. The market is open every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and is 90% undercover, so you can shop rain or shine. There's never a charge for parking or admission. Enjoy our monthly classic car cruise-in on the first Saturday of every month, and garage sale weekend, the third weekend of every month. See all we have to offer at DaytonaFleaMarket.com or like us on Facebook. Discover Daytona's most unique shopping experience, the Daytona Flea and Farmers Market, just a mile west of the Speedway. We're back from where it all began, racing's original North Turn Beach Bar and Grill. The Legends of Racing radio show continues with your host Buzz McKim and co-host Rich Combs.
Hey, thank you, everybody. Coming down the old home stretch here with Mr. Korytko. And this segment's being brought to you by Daytona Flea and Farmers Market, voted one of the top 5 markets in the country by USA Weekend. And visit our Shop Now network and our Shop Now at Daytona Flea and Farmers Market Facebook page for the latest in vendor tours. And we've got Larry. Larry's got a question.
Hey, Larry.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Larry.
Thanks for being up here, first off. After Tony's
Can't
You're
hear.
not getting it. We're not getting that.
Hey, you could probably speak with your own voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, after Tony's question, we need to go to Europe.
Well, we.
When did you go back to Germany?
All right. Like I said, I grew up here. I went to Seabury Senior High School. I went to the community college, and then I went to Florida Tech in Orlando. My parents, at that time, my mother was having problems with the heat down here. That's why she wanted to go back to Germany. Good. We all went back. I wasn't quite happy. We went back, and they drafted me at 24.
Jeez.
So I was in the German army in a Green Beret, and wow, for what?
Yeah.
You know, got that done and over with. In '79, I had my high school buddy who lived in Tampa, or in Clearwater. I went to visit him on a vacation. Unfortunately, I fell in love with his secretary. Fell in love, dropped everything in Germany, packed up my things, and came back to Clearwater. And things were turning out right. Good. The relationship with my fiance didn't work out, but I had my brother come over, and that's where we started the business doing fiberglass work. My first project was for a Suzuki dealer, a fairing for a race bike. He gave me this expensive fairing. He said, make a mold, I need 5 of them. Well, my brother and I were making the mold off this thing, et cetera, let it cure out, trimmed it, couldn't get it out of the mold. I forgot to make flanges or split it up to where you can get this part back out. So it's been in there forever.
Yeah.
And I had to pay for the fairing, which was
geez.
a minus job. But that's how we got started in fiberglass. Went back in '86, which I'm glad I did, because in '92 my mother at 58 had a brain tumor and passed away. So at least I was able to spend some time with my mother. But we got to meet Mr. Kramer back in '88, '89, and it worked great. Like I said, we worked for him 18 years, designing and building all his cars. We built 6 962s in the first year.
Oh, my.
2 for the Japanese Championship, 2 long tails for Le Mans, and 2 for the WEC series.
Oh my God, just you and Roy?
Yeah,
Just the two of you?
yeah,
That's incredible.
yeah. It was the best year we ever had.
I guess.
Yeah. But, yeah, it was exciting, and I don't know if it was a mistake going back to Germany or staying here. I probably could have done the same thing here. But it worked out somehow better in Germany. And I'm back, though, but now that I'm 70 years old, heart attack, 2 knees, thanks to racing,
Yeah.
it's time to retire. And I've got a home, I've got my family. Where am I going to go? So I'll be back from vacation. I'm planning already next April. I'll be back.
Hot dog.
Yeah.
Well, come on and visit us.
I shall.
If you would.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you love to have this guy back again?
Yeah.
Great
Thank you.
story. Great
Thank you.
story. Yeah. Now, did you ever work at Sebring? Did you ever do any work down there?
I didn't, but Irving, he was a very nice, he was one of probably the nice people in racing back then.
Really?
We became good friends. He'd come down to visit us just for the hell of it. He'd say, oh, get me that hotel, and we'll meet for dinner. And after he had a few schnapps, he would start telling stories. One story was they were at Sebring, I think, 68 or 69 with a 911. 12 hours. Apparently the front windshield broke, and he couldn't drive anymore. And at that time, his first mechanic said, I'll get one. He went out to the Porsche Corral out of a customer, whatever, 911, took out the windshield, they put it in the race car,
You're kidding.
and
You
they
mean
kept driving.
Probably a spectator's car.
Yes, it was a spectator's car.
Jeez.
But anyway, they finished the race and actually did very well. And end of the race, all of a sudden, there's the sheriff. So Irving had to talk his way out of that, and all of a sudden the owner come along.
Uh-huh.
And he says, is that my windshield? Is that the one you took out of my car? He said, yes, it is. Don't clean it. Put it back in the way it is. And everything was forgotten.
That's great. Yeah, he had his guardian angel overlooking that time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
No, he'd come up with some stories. Le Mans one year, we had a limited amount of fuel. And the officials there was one in every pit,
Right.
making sure that everything was correctly. You could cross the line to the car, et cetera, only so many people, and fueling. Well, what they didn't know was Irving, there was a tanker and a catcher on the other side.
Yep.
It would catch the fuel when it was full. Well, they'd fit it until the fuel came out the other side, stop, car would go out. Well, they put this, the catcher, hide it kind of a little bit. When nobody was looking, they put another 5 or 6 liters in it. So when the car come in, fill it, go in there, and then they start filling. And they did this every pit stop.
That's pretty slick.
Yeah, but he wasn't the only one doing it.
Oh, I'm sure.
They were all doing it.
Yeah.
Is that another reading between the lines on the rule book?
Yeah, it sure is.
Okay.
It sure is.
That's the Smoky Eunuch rule
Oh,
book.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. He has not made the, what is it, the
The NASCAR Hall of Fame?
Yeah, Hall of Fame.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
I've got a sticker on the back of my car that says "Smokey belongs,"
Yes, he does.
and I got a T-shirt that says the
Yeah,
same thing.
well, that's a
Don't
good
you think?
hand for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but I understand that there's no bitterness between Smokey and NASCAR. It's just a matter of him getting enough votes to get in. So I feel confident that he'll get in one day, but he should have been in by now.
because I remember being just a little twert. There was a German pastry shop in the shopping center next to him.
That's right.
And my mom and dad going shopping, and I'd be doing, what's he got now?
That's right.
Very, very interesting gentleman.
Oh, boy, he was one of a kind. No social skills, but he didn't need them.
No, he didn't.
No, that's for sure. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Mr. Korytko here.
The caution flag is out. Time for a break. We'll be right back with the Legends of Racing radio show. Welcome to Homewood Suites by Hilton in Daytona Beach. You're right in the middle of all the action. Daytona International Speedway, the airport, One Daytona, Florida's newest entertainment and retail destination, and of course, the world's most famous beach. You'll love our newly remodeled 1 and 2 bedroom suites, along with our popular King Studios. You won't need your full kitchen, as Homewood Suites Daytona serves up complimentary breakfast and evening social. It's like home away from home. Go to HomewoodDaytona.com for Homewood Suites by Hilton in Daytona Beach. We're back from where it all began. Racing's original North Turn Beach Bar and Grill. The Legends of Racing radio show continues with your host, Buzz McKim, and co-host, Rich Combs.
Oh, thank you so much, everybody. We appreciate that. We're here with Seppi Korytko with he's Mr. Porsche. I think we can call him that, right? And this segment's being brought to you locally by Homewood Suites by Hilton over on Bill France Boulevard. And every room is a suite. And they have a fantastic breakfast and fantastic happy hour. And if you want to impress anybody that's coming to town, hook them up with the Homewood Suites by Hilton, and it's very, very nice. I think, Joe, you give it 2 thumbs up, don't you? There we go. And Joe knows his stuff. That's for sure. So is there anything you would have changed?
I wish that Irvin Kramer would have lived longer because he had plans.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he had plans. And he had plans with us, and when he died, I mean, I still had contact with his brother Manfred until about 2 weeks before he passed away.
Really?
And I wish they both lived longer. They were good people, did excellent, working, good thoughts. You know, Irvin was always thinking, how can we make a car better?
Really?
You know, what can we do? And it was very nice working with him. Good. We all, like a marriage. You have good times and bad times, yeah.
Sure.
But most of the time it was fun to work with the team, you know, the whole team.
Now, where was he based out of?
Cologne.
Oh, really? Is that far from you?
About 3.5 hours.
Is it really?
Yeah.
So he'd just come on down just to see what's happening? And
Well, he'd go to Stuttgart,
okay.
and on the way back, you go through Nuremberg, and they cut back up to Cologne.
Oh, okay. Have you been to Stuttgart?
Not lately.
No? But you've been to the museum?
Oh, yes.
Oh, it must be incredible. Huh?
It is.
Jeez, what's your favorite thing in the museum?
The 917.
Yeah, I would say so. Do they have any of the Daytona cars with the little eyebrow window in the roof?
They've got the yellow one that Penske drove.
Oh, really?
They have one of those there. They have a lot of the GT3, GT2 cars. There's a 936. There's a 908.
Long tail?
Donahue's car is there. They have a hell of a nice collection. Yeah.
That's great.
Well, if you ever come over to visit, I'll take you.
All right. Yeah, what do you think, sweetheart? Should we go to Germany? Yeah, she says it's okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, good.
Let me break in with a technical question. Since you're a body man, a sculptor, designer, what was going on when you had short tails and long tails, and what was the change in there?
Well, we basically used the long tails. At Le Mans back then, they had the long straightaway. And even after they changed it with the 2 chicanes, it was still long sections. And the long tail does actually bring aerodynamics, brings the car down, but it doesn't slow it down.
Okay.
Now, a short tail, you can set that wing up, and, you know, it takes around the ground effect cars, so it does a difference. And that's why at Le Mans, we used a long tail version.
Okay. But I didn't know. I mean, no one ever told you. You know, just being a basic short track racer here, I look at it as a downforce thing, but
That's why you set the wing much higher at a downforce.
That's such a nice, smooth entry.
Just like on the Panda,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were pretty cars. They were pretty cars. But the tail, when they came in, they were so heavy. And almost 3 people had to take it off.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Really?
They were heavy.
Wow.
And we're building the tails for the 962 now, probably half that weight.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you're working on them right now?
We have all the molds to make any version 962 there is.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So is that carbon fiber?
We use carbon fiber. We were the first ones to use Kevlar in the wheel wells. The factory, the first year at Le Mans when we made parts for Kramer, they'd come over and they'd check that nose out and what the hell's in there, you know? Well, we did all the wheel wells in Kevlar, and theirs were glass.
Yeah.
Because of the back straightaway, all the rocks would go through it and destroy the nose.
Oh.
Kevlar, what do they make Kevlar for? Bulletproof vests.
Bulletproof, yes, absolutely.
I'll be darned. So you guys were ahead of your time.
Back then.
Yeah.
Now I'm behind.
Now you're behind.
Yeah.
Well, Kevlar was very expensive too at that time.
Yes, but carbon fiber is even more expensive.
Okay.
Yeah, it's your price in gold.
Oh, is that right?
What they say,
Oh,
yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah.
No kidding. Jeez. But you get to work with...
We have it all. Yeah.
yeah,
We have glass. We have carbon Kevlar, and Kevlar. All 4 different types.
Really?
And we use it where we think it's needed
Yeah.
when we make the parts.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Okay. So tell me, what's in your personal garage?
You really don't want to know.
Yes, I do.
I have 2 cars. 1990 Volkswagen Passat.
Uh-huh.
It's 34 years old, over 500,000 miles on it.
Oh, my gosh.
I can work on this car. That's what makes fun. And it's perfect for my dog. I throw him in the back, take him to work and whatever. And the other one's sitting in the garage. It's also a newer Passat. It has like 6,000 miles on it.
Really?
But it's 5 years old.
Oh, okay.
I only drive it when the sun's shining.
Yeah. Yeah. So your old Passat is your winter car, then, right?
It's my everyday car.
Everyday car.
Everyday car.
Yeah.
I love that car.
Yeah. You can't shoot yourself out of it, can you?
No, can't.
It's
Okay,
amazing.
can you honestly tell me, you being around all of these fabulous cars over a period of time, you don't have something stuck away somewhere?
Of course I do.
Tell me about that.
Like Buzz was saying, I had that Stingray.
Yes.
Well, in the 90s, I bought a 65 Stingray.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got it hidden somewhere. And I've been collecting parts. And now that I'm going into retirement, I'm going to restore this car and get it done just right.
Oh, boy. Well, that'll be a hit over there in Germany, won't it?
Yeah,
That'll be
guess.
awesome. Yeah, I'm sure it will be.
Yeah.
427 3 deuce.
No, 327 Holly 4-barrel.
Okay, that's okay.
It'll still get the job done.
But
Yeah.
I do have a Challenger with deuces on it.
Oh, okay.
Do you really?
Yeah.
You got a Challenger.
70, yeah.
Is that right? 440?
No, 340.
Oh, 340.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You prefer the
Smaller ones.
The smaller ones.
Well,
yeah.
because the gas prices, we're paying 3 times of what you're paying here.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's like $7 or $8 a gallon.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy. Yeah, I can see why you want to go the economy route. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something else. Well, we got some folks we're going to say thank you to for being on this show. And this fella right here, Mr. Korytko, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you for
Yes.
squeezing this in. I know it's going to be a tight day for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm used to it.
Oh, okay. And then we got Danny over there, the
Hey, Danny.
the ex-German Frau. And let's see, Tony and Larry, thank you for your questions. And Doris, all you do for us. And it's so good to see Owen Hopes here, our very own legend. Yeah,
Olin.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and the long-suffering McKim women right here, they still come every week.
Oh, every week?
Every week, every
Every
week.
week.
It's amazing. Yeah, well, this has been quite a deal. We've really, really enjoyed this. And it's another aspect of racing that we haven't covered before.
Okay.
And so you've made it just a red-letter day.
No, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that there's always a place for you here, no matter what.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well-
Don't you think, Rich?
We're called the Legends of Racing show, right?
That's right. The Legends
This is
of
a
Racing.
legend. He's on the
Yeah.
show. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
I'm old enough to be it.
But, you wonder about racing. This is one of the unsung heroes, one of the guys who really made a difference. And you wonder how many guys out there are like him that just went about their job silently, very thoroughly, very methodically, and never got the props. And now you should chance to get a little pat on the back.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, we'll do it again sometime for sure.
Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, you betcha.
All right.
Yes, sir. And enjoy the Brumos Museum up there.
I shall. I'm going to take some pictures.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Okay, folks, we'll have another show next week. Tune in. We got a special guest lined up. And it's going to be tough to top this guy right here.
Oh,
but,
come on.
No.
Jeez.
See, he's still humble. Isn't that something? Okay, so we'll see you next week, everybody.
Thank you.
The Legends of Racing radio show
Thank you.
originates
Thank you.
live from the very spot where beach racing began, racing's original North Turn Beach Bar and Grill. Join us next